there was an interview that Jon Moxley gave with Sports Illustrated today, July 6, 2023. Before we get into that, we're going to talk about following us at Trig Wrestling, TRIGG_wrestling on Instagram, the TikTok. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube at Triggered Wrestling. So hit us up. So going back to this Sports Illustrated article with Jon Moxley, he gave his explanation as to why he bleeds so much in his matches. I'm not going to read all of it. I'm just going to read bits and pieces here. He said, I only know one speed. That's with my foot to the gas pedal. If we're going to do something, let's effing do it. That can be detrimental when it comes to negative things like drugs or alcohol. But that's my mindset. If I'm doing it, I'm doing it.
Yep, he also said this is a combat sport. College wrestling is a combat sport too. They have blurred timeouts to patch it up. The lowest prelim bout in UFC card or boxing card. I don't know, man. I don't know. How do you feel about this one? Because, I mean, although blood is sometimes necessary to question the strength of some wrestlers, overdoing it is kind of killing it and ruining the effect of bleeding, don't you think?
Yeah, and that's exactly. So he even says that himself in this fucking interview, bro. He says, when it comes to blood, it's just going to happen sometimes. Like I said, it's foot to the gas pedal. Some people say this is just a random match. We said that. Timeout. This is not him. We said it's just a random match in front of 2,000 people on a fucking dark show for AEW. So we said that. Back to Jon Moxley. This is just a random match. Why is there blood? I heard that last week versus Tomohiro Ishii. He's one of the greatest of all time. I'm not going to let that moment slip by. I'm going foot to the fucking gas pedal. How can I not? Then I hear that I can have a good match without blood. Okay, then you made my argument for me. I'll do it every time. So, I mean, if Jesus Christ, bro, this fucking guy is fucking weird, bro. I just can't.
Yeah. You know what would be weird, though? It'd be weird if you blocked us. Hopefully, please don't block us, Jon Moxley. Please don't be a right back. I'm sorry, right back.
Oh, my God.
So basically, expect bleeding from him every time. Well, I mean, we already knew this already anyways, but now he's telling us expect bleeding from, it's either coming or not, but most likely expect some blood.
He's trying for the blood. So continuing on this long, and I'm sorry, it's just such a juicy quote. No pun intended, because he bleeds a lot. But he says, I'm actually for less blood, but more often, if every single match on the card had a busted eyebrow or bloody nose, it would just be part of the sport. But some gory spectacle with blood shooting like a hose is pretty unnecessary. This fucking dude doesn't make sense. We're elbowing each other in the face every single match. We're kicking each other in the face every single match. What are these people made of if they're not bleeding? People ask why there's so much blood in the ring every time I leave it. It feels unnatural to go out of my way to make sure no one is bleeding. That feels like I'm taking my foot off the gas pedal. That doesn't interest me. So this guy pretty much flat out says that he wants to bleed every single match. Doesn't matter what kind of match it is. He wants to bleed in it.
I don't know, man. I do own his book. It does have some crazy stories there. I didn't finish reading it, but there has to be something in there that further explained his bleeding, which I might get into that probably later today before I go to bed, but I don't think he needs to bleed. It's like, why? This is the same thing I was talking about with old heads talking about wrestling today. Wrestling has evolved. There was a time and place for bleeding back in the day, especially every day, like Terry Funk and Mankind and people like that. I think we've evolved from that. There is a market for death matches and for blood. I'm not discrediting that. But when it comes to the globalization of wrestling and pushing it a little further, like with AAA, New Japan, WWE, AEW, blood is not necessary all the time. It's good once in a while, but not all the time.
If it's relevant to the story you're telling, go ahead and by all means do it.
Yes.
Bro, the fucking ref was bleeding at Anarchy in the arena, bro. No mames. Come on, bro. Stop. What the fuck is the ref doing that makes no fucking sense. The match was so off the chain crazy that the ref started bleeding as well.
Damn, I forgot about that.
Man, so if you're as triggered as we are, once again, hit us up at TRIGG_wrestling on all the social medias, Triggered Wrestling. Hit us up because we want to know what you guys think about Jon Moxley and this interview that he did. And fucking Ryback.
Ryback, Jungle Jack Perry, the Chris Jericho appreciation, Don Callis family story they got going on. Please let us know. And again, if you want to talk about AEW or WWE, New Japan, Ring of Honor, all of it, please add us, because we like to talk wrestling when we go to events, especially like at Barrio Toys. We do interviews, but we mainly like interacting with fans, chatting wrestling, because that's what we do. That's what we're here to do. Talk wrestling.
Yep. Talk wrestling and be triggered, bro. So we're Triggered Wrestling. We want to hear from you. Most importantly,
stay triggered.
Bang, bang.